Welcome, everybody, to the Leaders Leading Leaders podcast. Welcome, everybody, to the Leaders Leading Leaders podcast. I am your host, John Espinosa. I want to thank you all for taking the time to listen in today. As always, if you enjoy what you're hearing, please click on that subscribe button. It helps share this organically, get it out to as many people as we possibly can, and ultimately meets our mission of helping others get to where they're going. Today, I'm going to talk about a principle that is my principle. I've coached on it. I've mentored folks on it. And the underlying basis of the principle is, I call it the on-after principle. And on and after has to do with dates. It centers around being present. And before we get into that, I want to talk about being around people who are always bringing up the past. Do you hang around, or are you talking to somebody about the past? And it may be back in high school when you won your state football championship, or it may be a successful business that you ran. It may even be the 75 hard challenge that you did 2 years ago, or promotion that you got. Now, to a fault, I am always looking forward. I celebrate my successes. I have to give myself some time to celebrate my successes. I've gotten to the point where it's a mandatory 24 hours whenever I hit a goal or I reach a milestone that I've been working for, because I constantly am what's next. So it goes in line with this on-after principle. And a lot of it for me is focusing on the present. I don't dwell on things that occurred in the past, successes or failures. It goes both ways. I've had a lot of failures in my past, and I've also had a lot of really, really good successes, really good things that have happened to me in the past. But that's not me in the present today. In the present, I've talked a lot about time as a resource. And for me, where I'm at right now, I want to spend the most time and energy doing the things that add value, the most value to my life right now. And I found that being in the present and looking forward is where I want to dedicate my time and energy. You're going to spend the energy either way. You're going to spend it looking backwards and living in the past, or you're going to expend it being present and looking in the future. And for me, I want to stay present and I want to look in the future. So that on today, being on, or after today, being future driven, making sure that I'm present in this current situation, but I'm always looking forward and not backwards. A couple things that as I talk about this or talk through this principle, I'm going to bring up, and I hope they help, or I hope they resonate with you all, and you can apply your situation similarly. One is, I mentioned the past successes or failures, and I catch myself doing this sometimes. I had a 75 hard challenge. I completed that 75 hard challenge. I lost a lot of weight. I gained a lot of mental clarity around in that 75 days, but that's something that I did. What am I doing now to continue on? Because a lot of times people go through that 75 hard challenge, or it could be a weight loss challenge that you're doing for 30, 60, 90 days, whatever that looks like. And then after that 90 days, or after the challenge ends, what happens? Do you go back to your old habits? Whatever that looks like to you, how do I sustain moving forward the momentum? Because we're talking about momentum here. And that brings up the second piece, is motivation and momentum. So we have a foundational motivation to meet our needs, make sure we got food, make sure we have roof over our head. But then we start climbing up that ladder, that motivational ladder. And as we begin to climb up, that's where we hit our stride. And if you listen or read autobiographies, I think autobiographies are great, really self-development, or I enjoy them because it talks about the struggles and how they overcame those, and then how they moved on from them. But the point I'm trying to make is, if you read an autobiography, or you listen to some of the elite athletes that have won championships or reached the pinnacle in their sport, or their organization. And a lot of them will tell you that the journey, the pursuit of the championship, the pursuit of the gold medal, the pursuit of the world record was better than actually receiving it. Now, why is that? I mean, you think about that, and I can think, in my previous experiences, as I was trying to get promotions, or as I was challenging myself, the 75 hard, it really felt good. Like I was gaining momentum every single day. That first 19 to 20 day span, it was tough. But after that, when you get to like that 30, 45 day, and you get into the 60-day mark in like a 75-day challenge, you are like hitting full stride. Your mental clarity's there. You're waking up. It is just something that your body adapts to the stress as you go on. And why? Because we're challenging it, and it organically grows and adapts. Our body is always going to figure out how to survive. And that's what I'm talking about with energy. You want to create momentum by being present and then looking forward. In your mind and body, if you focus your energy there, guess what? They're going to adapt. As you challenge it, they're going to adapt. As you move forward, they're going to move forward with you. But it has to start, again, in that mindfulness. We're focusing on mindfulness for this season that we're in right now. So you have to be mindful about where you focus your energy. And right now, my energy is focused on today and after today, in the future. One of the things that, last I want to leave you all with when we talk about this on-after principle is the programming of our leadership mind. And I'm a leader that I like to be in the thick of it. I'm a frontline leader, and that's why I talk about frontline leadership. I've worked with senior leaders, I've worked with organizations, and so that's what I'm going to talk about. But I've done that. I don't get too far outside of my wheelhouse or too far outside of what I've done to give advice on. That's how we help others get to where they're going. But programming your leadership mind is important to stay on or after, present and future. If you're consistently thinking in the past, or you're dwelling on your past successes or past failures, what's your team going to do? They're going to do the same. They're going to follow how you behave, not necessarily what you say. So even in those off the cuff or those small conversations, in my one-on-one conversations, I have to program my leadership mind to consistently stay present and to look forward. In doing that, people are going to follow that same mindset. They're going to stay present and they're going to move forward. How do we do that as leaders? How do you provide direction to your teams? We do that through our vision. What's our vision? We have to be able to articulate where we're going through our vision so that people will understand, one, when we get there, and two, creates buy-in. We got to have people with the buy-in as we're leading the way towards the vision. And that occurs through that on-after principle. Another thing with the leadership mindset is clearing obstacles. If we're thinking in the past, how can we be proactive and clear obstacles in the future? So again, on after, we're constantly removing barriers so that our team has less path of resistance. Doesn't mean that they're going to have challenges along the way. Doesn't mean that the road is going to be bumpy, but we're going to try to smooth it out. We're going to try to remove those huge limbs that are in the way of the road. As leaders, if we maintain that on-after principle, we're always staying in that proactive mind state, spending our energy being proactive in how we create vision, cultivating that leadership mindset. It's about that leadership journey. Where are we going? How are we going to get there? And how long is it going to take? And that on-after principle is going to help us create that mindset for ourselves and for our teams. I hope this helps somebody today. Go cultivate that on-after principle with you and your teams. Be mindful. Go be great. We'll talk to everybody later. Bye-bye. If you enjoy what you're hearing, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps us get others to where they're going.